Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel YS Studios. And once again, you would see the setting, the difference in the perhaps you would have noticed this difference in setting. This is because I'm taking my channel to the next level. It's all right. Of course, I have added a lot of variety. I've added programs and all. I'm just taking up a little notch and to speak to people from different kind of genres. So today I have with me a very special guest. You see, people who know me or who have befriended me, and sometimes some people who have also come for interviews on this channel of mine, would be knowing that I have also had a rough past. I too had health issues, health problems, where many people, even the biggest doctors, had proclaimed me dead or even mentally challenged. Actually, even right now, my own family calls me mentally challenged. I do not know what to say about it. But like this one person I came across on Facebook, he has a nickname of Author on Wheels. He has been actually, how do I say it? I'm not getting the term for it. He has been on literally on wheels since birth. Yet he has crossed a lot of challenges, and today he's the author of a book, which is I don't know what do you say? How do you say it? Crossed Amazon records. So everyone, please welcome John Wood. He'll be joining us shortly. I have added him. So this is what I was saying. He, John Wood is an how do you say it? Uh, he's an author on wheels, was written a book on himself. So just give me a moment. Right. Hey John, are you there? Please connected to audio. Just give me a moment. Unmute your video. Okay. All right. All fine now, John? Perfect.
Yes.
Right.
If
Good. So you can hear, right? You can hear me, right?
yes, I can hear you and I can see you.
Perfect. So that's what, John. I have given a kind of a short introduction about yourself. Okay. Why not you tell more about yourself? It's like you are disabled. How did this happen?
I was born
Some of the audio we are having.
with spina bifida, and I was born with the most severe type. Huh?
Oh,
I'm sorry. I was born with spina bifida. I was born with the most severe form of spina bifida, which is called myelomeningocele. Basically, in Latin, spina bifida means split spine. My spine was split and growing outside of my body at a 170-degree angle. Doctors had no choice. They had two options:
okay.
cut my spine that was sticking out and paralyze me, or do nothing and I die. I was given 2 hours at birth. I'm 29 years old. Obviously, I have, paralysis. I'm unable to move really or feel from what they say is the waist down. But what doctors do not know is over the last several years, I've been able to feel from the knee up to the waist.
Wow.
So, despite my circumstances, I have been able to function as a normal citizen, a normal everyday human being, and have been able to tell my story even from the wheels, even from the wheelchair, which is why I call myself Author on Wheels.
Perfect. That's so great to hear that. Actually, perhaps we could have a discussion on this later on also. Even I have gone through the same, and doctors had proclaimed me. I have also been paralyzed from waist down. They told I couldn't walk or do anything again. So I have a scar on my head. They call me mentally challenged. Yet I'm speaking to you today. Right?
Exactly.
Right.
Circumstance is 90% what you think of it and 10% what others think of it.
Perfect.
If you let that 10% weigh out 90%, you're going to have a bad time in life.
Perfect. So I understand you have written a book on this. Is this a fictional book or your personal biography?
This is my personal biography. This is my autobiography, told exactly in my words from the wheelchair. You know, from the moment that I came into the world to at this point, the age of 23 is when I stopped writing.
Wow, wow, wow. So, if you were, say, I believe this is from birth, you have been paralyzed from birth. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So, how did it go on? Like, what's the story? How did you grow up? How did you do schooling? Um, you would have wanted to play with kids, of course, other kids of your age, of course, right?
Basically, from very early on, how it works here is they put me into what they call special education classes. Basically, I was put into a separate system in the school system where I was put with kids that are either like me or very much worse off. You know, I was put in with the autistic kids and the kids with severe cerebral palsy or mental retardation. Basically, they treated me for years as an outcast. And I honestly did not have the proper skills at that age to advocate for myself until I was in high school. When I was in ninth grade, I started learning more about self advocacy. But it wasn't until 11th grade or my junior year of high school that I actually had to use that advocacy to say, hey, this is what I want. This is what I want. This is what I want. I had to advocate for myself in many ways. Number one, because when I joined when I graduated to the 12th year, senior year of high school, I was going to join a program at a hospital where I would work for them and, I gain life skills. Well, thanks to my disability, they wanted me to have a surgery to be able to use the bathroom on my own. My mother was sitting in the meeting, looked right at the advocate from the program, told her, "F you, I'm taking my son and getting out of here." So I walked out with her. Right then and there, I said, "Okay, I'm going to advocate for myself, maybe a little different." Ever since then, I've told myself I can put my mind whatever I want to do with it, which is why I wrote this book, why I have a YouTube channel, and why I cook. Nothing puts me down very long. I survived a massive kidney infection in 2018 that almost took me out. Well, guess what? I'm here today. Circumstance, like I said, is 90% what you think of it, 10% what others think.
What are those? Perfect. That was so amazing to hear. So, like, this is your first book, I believe. Is that so?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
This is my first published book.
Published. Okay. So, have you written like privately anything before this?
Blog posts on my website and for creative writing in school, yes, I have, but that's pretty much the whole extent of it.
Even then, you have been expressing thoughts. So that's so great.
Yes, I've been expressing thoughts, but as far as like publicating them, this is the first time that I've done this.
That's great because personally, like I was telling you,
Yes.
maybe we could speak in detail later. Me too. I have been writing since childhood, but I became a full-time author after this kind of incidents in my life. I too have had a big accident with a scar on my head. I too have been disabled. So I understand. I understand. Okay. And just about 7 years back, a little bit after my wedding, I fell down from the terrace of a building around 40 feet. I dislocated my shoulder and my hip bone. And again, once again, crashed my head. The doctor said that's it. Said yet here I am. Perhaps I'm losing my hair, but nothing else. I'm still the same old guy. All
Exactly.
right. All right, right. So that's so great. So I see one side is your book. but the other side is you as a person. I'm trying to see the relation between you. Like, what do you do for a living besides writing? Do you have a job or are you studying still?
For
What do
a
you
living,
do?
I technically I do not have a job. I'm trying to make writing my full-time career, but as far as like paid job, no, I don't have anything. I do make a little bit of income from helping other writers do editing work, and
Right.
I sometimes I help other people with their YouTube channels and their YouTube videos. I do a little bit of freelance editing.
Wow, wow, wow. Right, that's so nice.
That gives me a little bit of income, but as far as like full time, five figures, nothing.
Okay, I get it. I get it. So it's like, how do you like this book you have written? How do you see yourself move from here? Are you going to write more on what you have gone through, or are you going to use this as an experience for other subjects?
I already have part two of my autobiography in writing. I'm about halfway through. I say I'm about halfway through. Really, I'm about 40% through with it. I've got about 5 chapters written partially, and I'm in the midst of writing part two. So that's where I
Perfect. Now let's shift away from the little serious stuff and go to a little bit a kind of jovial or funny stuff. I try to bring this in my time. Okay, I try not to make it too much on kind of, oh, this happened, this happened. Let's cheer up a bit. So I myself am a bathroom singer. Do you sing, John?
am. No, I can't carry a tune in a bucket.
That's
I
I
can't carry a
understand.
tune in a bucket. I suck at playing cards, and you play Monopoly with me, I'll probably kick your butt.
Cool, cool, cool. But you guess, I'll tell you this. Today I'm gonna make you sing a song. Because just like how I have gone through, people said this is impossible. I challenged myself. Would you maybe it could be a song, or it could be maybe a line from your own book. What would you offer us today? What would you how do you say suggest to do with it?
There's actually a funny line in my book, in
Okay.
chapter 3, I believe. Actually, it's chapter 2, where I talk about the first time that they had me ride the school bus to school, and it was one of the lift buses. So I said, "You think bus rides are calming by yourself?
You're breaking a little.
Try
Just repeat
with what
that.
sounded like 50,000
Repeat
unintelligible
that.
aliens
Repeat
speaking a
that. Repeat
Spanish."
that.
I'm sorry. You think bus rides are calming by yourself? Try with what sounded like 50,000 unintelligible aliens speaking a Spanish version of Klingon.
I get that. I get it. Okay.
Yes.
Now what we are going to do, John, is you're going to say the same line, but like a girl. I'm going to give you different voices. Could you say the same line like a girl?
You want me to say the same line so that
Yeah,
okay,
right. Fine, fine.
just like normal?
Yeah, that's right.
You think bus Go ahead.
No, it's like the same thing you said as yourself. We all want to hear it. It could be like a someone of the female gender, or it could be like a child, or it could be like an alien. I want to give it different
Okay, I get
characters.
it.
Right, right.
You think bus rides are fun by yourself? Try with what sounded like 50,000 unintelligible aliens speaking a Spanish version of Klingon. I don't know why I just sounded like you, but I tried to sound like almost like a mixture of Roger the alien from American Dad and God, what is his name? Oh God. Oh man, I can't remember now. SpongeBob.
SpongeBob. Cool, cool. SpongeBob SquarePants. Okay, okay. Right, right.
Like
See,
if SpongeBob had like if SpongeBob narrated the audiobook.
true, true, very true, very
Okay.
true.
I'm enjoying this.
Cool, cool. See, this is what I wanted. Instead of making it simply where a kind of a talk show where you speak about yourself and your book, we'll try to add little more elements. Okay. See, tell me the one thing you wished you could do when you're growing up. You wish you could do.
The one thing I wish I could do is bring more advocacy and more awareness to people like us with different abilities and give them the knowledge that although you have these problems, you can still do the things with your life that you plan to do. I have a bucket list like everybody else, and one of the things on my bucket list is, I can't believe I'm saying this as a paralyzed person, jump out of a plane.
Okay.
I
So,
want to go skydiving, but paralysis doesn't work very well.
no, perhaps sometime in the future. Like I think I've heard of some people who also are paralyzed and have tried different kinds of things like this, like skydiving with someone else's help. I'm not sure. I'll perhaps later share you the link, but I've heard of it sometime. Perhaps you can try it someday too.
Yes.
Right. And one more thing. When I came across you on Facebook, do you know the first person who came to my mind when I saw you or your books or features? Stephen King.
Yes, I honestly I follow his work. I've not really sat down and in-depth read one of his books. My mother was a huge Stephen King, Dean Koontz, all those people fan. I honestly think it's kind of, I want to say, too much for me because at a fifth grade level, when I was like 10 years old, they tested me. I could read at a college level. Well, I've had 8 brain surgeries since then, so I've kind of lost the ability to understand some of that stuff or even get it. So, yes, I mean, I do follow
Great, great.
a little bit of Stephen King.
Do you know, John, that we both share a lot? Perhaps you are still on a wheelchair. Perhaps I am not right now, but still, kind of to give you a gist, I've had a scar on my head where my skull got shattered and my brain came out. I've had a kind of a close to a heart attack at the age of 24 because I'm in a wheezing patient. I can't bear too much dust or alert. Okay. I have fallen from the terrace 40 feet and broken my hip bone and my shoulder bone almost came out.
Wow.
Okay. And each time people said, this is the end. Yasser is gone. Yasser is gone. This is the end. But I still keep going. The only difference is maybe I have been very fortunate. I'm not on wheelchair, but I still try. But today, you are jobless. I am also jobless. Yet we speak. You have written a wonderful book. I believe it's a wonderful book. I have also attempted to write 6 books. Yet we speak. Right. So,
Yes.
right. So, John, let's reverse the game. You tell me to do something. Now I'm making you the host. Suppose you are the host of this interview. What would you ask me?
If I were the host of this interview, I would want to know a little bit more about you as a person. What started your journey as a writer? What you did before writing? What makes you you?
So we are going to do this now. I'm going to answer all the questions you asked. After that, you have to repeat the same of about yourself. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So now you asked me like how did I start my writing journey? What was the person before that, etc. Right? Was there anything else?
Yes. Basically, who you were before becoming a writer, what made you who you are today, and the circumstances that you have faced with it.
Right. Okay. Now see who I was before writer. I am an Indian, of course. I did my schooling in the United Arab Emirates, the Middle East, when it was just growing, it was just developing. Okay, there was almost nothing over there at that time. But I grew up with some people who are very big entrepreneurs. People in Asia would have heard their names. I'm not going to reveal. I grew up with them. After that, I came, and that was pretty good. Also, one thing which not many people know about me currently, I was very much overweight in childhood. Okay, and, during my when I was say 14, 15, I weighed 90 kgs. Okay, 90 kgs at when I was 14 to 15. It was after it, I was a complete movie buff. Okay, so I our Indian movies are very romance involved, or kind of you would have heard of Shah Rukh Khan, perhaps that. So I grew up wishing, okay, I wish I could get that girl. I wish I could get this girl. So I started writing in romance. And my kind of my teenage love or first crush or first love, whatever you call it, she made me write a small book in school. That book carried its popularity until college. It was at that time, and I was doing very well. I even actually was about to enter the film industry. A leading director had actually invited me as a young role in one of his films. I'm not going to take names here, that could become complicated later. On another one director had come to college for a, this also is a big director, but this is another director. He had come to our college for a very big function. I was actually going to perform in the dance in the function to his song. When I was making my way from a nearby hotel to the college, kind of a I don't know whether you're kind of a small tempo hit me from behind, threw me up. I landed up on my head. My skull shattered directly on my head with my bike. That was, I don't know, it's a very heavy bike. Okay, landed on top of me. I had no other injury. This entire thing was shattered. I wish I could show the back of my head. We can't turn around right now, but that's what. And I partial of my brain came. For 3 months, I was in a coma. And then I was told I'll be either in a coma. First they said I'll be in a coma for all my life. Then they told me I'll be physically disabled all my life. They may not me, my family. Then they told me I'll be mentally challenged all my life. Then they told I can't go to a gym again, I can't play sports again, I can't speak properly again. And believe me, I about a while after the accident, I did not even remember my A to Z, the alphabets of English. I did not remember. I couldn't even remember my own family. Okay, slowly, I did odd jobs. I relearned from my cousin brother's kindergarten book, A to Z and all that. And speaking with people, since now I'm speaking with you, I just love to speak. I spoke with a lot of people, try to learn it. But still I have an ability, I can't memorize. It's like I can't memorize facts. I can, if you tell me something about yourself, I'll remember the gist of it. But after this interview, I can't recall everything. This halted my education. I went job to job to job to job. An old friend of mine said, "Why not you start writing?" So my first book, it was a small book, which is a part of a book called Three Stories of Love. Perhaps we can search Three Stories of Love, Yasser Suleiman. Small part of it got me an award from Oxford University in London. Then I went on. Again, jumping jobs, Again, I have gone to have given you a gist of what I've gone through. But I just kept going. There is one Indian movie song, Hindi. It's from the film Sanju. Perhaps you wouldn't have heard of it, but it's a movie song. In the song, that person's fighting drug addiction. So he's like challenging every battleground. Kar har maidan ki fateh means it's in Hindi, challenging every battle. That's what I did. That's what I still do. I'm still. Today, I have a lovely son. I'm married to a lovely wife. I have a lovely son. I have to take care of my mom, my grandmother. My sister also is with us. Yet, whatever difficulty comes, I keep challenging that. I now trying to find time to write work on myself. That's kind of a gist of.
How the hell am I supposed to beat that? My God.
See, now
Okay.
your challenge is beat that.
Okay. Well. Um. God, I'm drawing a blank. I spent the first 3 years of my life not knowing whether or not I was going to live. I spent countless times in the hospital, laying there wondering what next. What's next in the slew of procedures I'm supposed to have? What's next for me? And then the doctors said that yeah, you're not going to live to be 10, 15 years old. You're going to be a vegetable the rest of your life, yada, yada, yada. Um, okay. You don't know who I serve. I'm a very faithful person, or at least I try to be. I said, you don't know who I serve. You don't know the God I serve. So I looked right in this doctor's face and I said, just watch me. And I walked out of his office, rolled out of his office. 15 years later, I graduated high school with honors. Then I said to myself, hey, let's do something a little crazy. Let's start doing YouTube. Let's start doing advocacy work. So I started what now is Author on Wheels, but it was something completely different 5, 6 years ago. I was doing advocacy work, and then I was like, this is kind of telling my story, but I want to do more. It took me laying in a hospital bed for 8.5 days, fighting a kidney infection and subsequent other infections, to finally pull the trigger. And one night at like 2 o'clock in the morning, I sat there with my phone. I pulled up the notes app and I just started typing, little bits and pieces of what I wanted in my story. I did that for 3.5 days.
Oh, wow.
Finally said, yeah. So when I got home, I sat down in front of the computer and I was like, okay, let's get this shit started. So I just started typing and typing and typing on Google Docs. And I said, this is how the book's going to go. At this point, it was 10 chapters. I sent it off to a printer to have it printed. And I was like, I'm not entirely happy with it, but it'll do for right now. I sent it to a couple of my friends and they said, okay, yeah, this is fine. But then I said, I'm completely redoing it. I'm adding more to it. I added 12 more chapters, redid the entire cover, and said, this book is going to be a bestseller. I told myself the day I published, because I released the book 4 days after my 28th birthday last year.
That's
I got the book proof from my publisher on my birthday. What a birthday gift. I'm holding a copy of my life in the print right here. 4 days later, I'm sitting there getting ready for the release live stream. I texted my best friend Ralph and I was like, hey, buddy, I'm getting ready to do the live stream. I know you probably have things you're doing. I just want you to know that I love you. Thank you for supporting me. And 5 minutes before the live stream, I heard my porch door open. And then I heard rustling. So I turned and I looked, and my best friend is walking down my hallway with his book, and he's like, let's do this. I didn't ask him to do it. I literally said, you've got other things you're doing. I understand. He took one look at me and he said, shut the hell up. This is your day. I'm your friend. I'm helping you out. Let's do this live stream. So we sat there for 2.5 hours releasing this book. And all the while, my dad is having issues from what we now know is cirrhosis of the liver. So he's fighting for his life. I lost my dad 2 months after the book release. I'd lost my mom to cancer 2.5 years before. Mom was the biggest supporter and said, you need to write this book. I dedicated it to her. In fact, I'd like to read, if it's okay, the dedication for her.
Oh, sure.
Not only do I want to read that dedication, but I want to read the dedication for my brother and sister.
Okay.
Our brother, the fighter. This is from my brother and sister, by the way. Every obstacle in your way, you fight. Every surgery, appointment, procedure, you fight. Every memory, every tear we cry, you fight. Proud isn't the word to describe your will to survive. The fight you've had, it inspires. We love you so much. Keep fighting for us. Love always, your forever devoted brother and sister. That was for my brother and sister. I dedicated this to my mom. It's called A True Fighter. I dedicate this book to the biggest fighter of all, my mother, who fought and lost her battle with stage 4 lung cancer on January 13th, 2020, at the tender age of 60. Mom, although you are not here in physical person to read this book, I hope somehow it shows you that although you are no longer with us in physical person, you are still very much loved and missed. Thank you for being my fighter, and in turn allowing me to be yours in your time. Rest easy, Mommy. Your fight is over. I wrote that part at a very vulnerable stage in my life. I was ready to do this. I told myself, I'm not going to do this because I'm bigger than this. I'm bigger than this circumstance.
You are a fighter. You are a fighter. True. That was wonderful to hear.
To summarize, like I said, I don't let circumstance take me down. I hogtie circumstance and I throw them in the closet and I tell them, you're not coming out until I'm ready for you to come out. And I never let them come out. So
No, that was remarkable. It was a remarkable story of life. Even actually, I too am controlling myself because I had to post this program. I understand, John, I understand. And I pray, I hope that you continue to see a lot of success. May this book be followed by several. I pray many more read your books and continue to break more records. We will join, collaborate on more after this.
Sorry, my sound was cutting out a little bit.
Right. What was, pardon me, if I could repeat. I really pray that you achieve more success. You continue to achieve more success. More books you write, all should become bestsellers. People from all across the world should know John Wood, the man, the author on wheels. That name should ring a bell. Never. I really pray that we collaborate soon in the future.
Thank you very much.
Right. It was a pleasure having you with us, John, today. Any last words do you wish to say?
Yes. In fact, I actually say this at the end of each of my YouTube videos and anyone I come into contact with. Continue your fight because you do not know when your fight will be over. You don't know what the circumstances are. You don't know what tomorrow will bring. So go into each day knowing that the circumstances that you face could either alter your life for the better or alter your life for the good or the worst. I encourage you to choose the better side. Keep on the sunny side of life because the sun will always be shining no matter what your circumstances are. And that's my end.
Oh. Well, bow and respect to you, John. Really hope we could join again today. So until next time, thank you so much for joining us. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, everyone. I guess you would have seen John for us. Beautiful story, remarkable story of how he crossed all challenges to be with us today. So what does that? Please do subscribe to my channel. Please do. I invite more people like yourself, like John here, to speak with me. Speak with me. Can be anything about what you do, about what you achieved, or what you even dream of doing, what you even want to do, what you want to contribute to society. So until next time, please do subscribe to my channel. Do you see the click button over there? Subscribe. And until next time, Yasir Suleiman saying, Tata, thank you, bye.